Hey, Swinggcat here. I want to welcome you to Sexual Connections. This is a very special course to me. I've been working on this material for a very long time. And the material in this course is extremely different from the material in my past courses. I'd even go so far to say that it's different from the material in any other dating or seduction or attraction course. And this new method of attracting women, I've been teaching to a small select group of friends, and their success with women has actually gone up 500 to 600%. The material in this course doesn't discount my past courses. In fact, my Swinggcat's Guide to Real World Seduction ebook and my Foundations for Generating Attraction audio course really lay the foundations for everything that I teach, and this builds off of it. Although, as you'll see, the material is completely different for the most part. Now, I also want to warn you, there's a lot of really funny lines in this course. There's a lot of really powerful things that I say. But I don't want you to just go out and mimic me. I want you to understand my thinking. I want you to learn how to think like Swinggcat so you can come up with your own material. Don't just focus on the what, focus on the why and the how. That's what the heart, the essence of this course is really about. So let's get started. Now I want to start by talking about what I call the myth of attraction. And actually I think there's several myths of attraction. I think there's several misconceptions that guys have about what attraction is. And the first one is that attraction is a litany of qualities or features that attract another person. And I think men have this misconception because women always harp on that they have a type of guy that they're attracted to, which is made up of a set of qualities. And if men don't fill that quota, they're just not going to feel attraction for him. So maybe you've had a woman say something along the lines of this. I want a guy with the perfect baby face, chiseled abs, a hairless chest, bone structure of a Greek god, and an elephant-sized penis. Now this can really crush a man's ego. But the good news is this, by the time you get finished with this course, you're going to laugh in a woman's face if she says anything to you similar to this. Because you're going to know that the statement is 100% meaningless. Now I want to share a story with you that might shed some light on this. I have a friend of mine who is an ex-model, very good-looking guy, but he couldn't even attract a 100-year-old woman. And years ago, he was dejected and chagrined and decided that the only solution was to go in for plastic surgery, to get a nose job and liposuction. So he had a surgeon hack off his schnoz, suck the fat out of his belly, and unfortunately, all he had to show for it was a big cast on his nose, 2 raccoon eyes, and big black and blue marks all over his stomach. His success rate with women did not even increase a smidgen. And the reason is that a list of qualities that a woman says she's attracted to in guys is really a belief about what triggers attraction in her. It's not attraction itself. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about where these beliefs come from. I think some of these beliefs are cultural. They come from friends. They come from family. They come from the media. So, for example, if a girl is young and impressionable and she has a strong, self-assured friend, maybe the young, impressionable girl tells her friend about this overweight blonde man that she's just head over heels for. Well, her friend, her self-assured friend, might say to her, "Ew, blonde, overweight men are disgusting. Only men that are tall, dark, and handsome are attractive." Now, the young, impressionable girl might change her value and belief system because of this. Another example of this is the media. Shows like Oprah Winfrey, or one that's even worse is on the E! Channel with Joan and Melissa Rivers. I don't know if you've ever seen the show. I don't even know if it's still on the air. But basically it's these 2 old ladies that give fashion advice. They critique the fashion of the stars, of celebrities. Now these women deem what is hot and what is not. And the sad thing is there's all these young, impressionable girls who don't have jobs. They spend their day sitting on the couch watching TV, eating bonbons, and they develop a belief system based on these shows of what's attractive and what's not. And another obvious place that girls get a belief system about what's attractive and not attractive is their family, the homestead. So if a girl's Jewish, her parents might train her to want a nice Jewish boy. If she's Catholic, they might train her to want a Catholic boy. Now, sometimes kids defy their parents, so a Jewish girl, in defying her parents, might go after a Catholic boy and vice versa. Now, not all beliefs are cultural. Sometimes they're inferences from their past. So maybe a girl met a short red-headed man and he happened to trigger tons of attraction in her. And then they broke up. Well, now she's going to have the belief that men who are short with red hair trigger attraction in her. And maybe a guy with dark hair and piercing green eyes comes along. Now, at first she might think, oh, this guy isn't my type. But if he happens to trigger attraction in her, she's going to have to reassess what triggers attraction in her. She's going to have to come up with a new belief. This happens all the time. Women rarely ever end up with the sorts of guys that are supposedly their quote-unquote type. Let me tell you about my friend Jennifer. I have a friend Jennifer who's an extremely attractive girl. She could be a model. She's half Jewish, half Thai. And she's always told me, she's very, very picky with men. She used to tell me, I'm only attracted to educated, rich, super good-looking guys who dress preppy. And I just cannot find this sort of guy. So this one day she calls me up. She's like, I finally met a guy that fills my quota of the ideal man. You have to come down and meet him. We're having Chinese right now. So I scurry on down there to have dinner with them. I walk in and I see her with this doofus, and I almost think she's playing a prank on me, but she's not. She's head over heels for this guy. This guy looked like a vagabond. He had big baggy pants on. The jeans had holes in them. He had dirty tennis shoes on. He had lost most of his hair. He had acne all over his face and had a big projecting schnoz. Now, I'm not saying that's unattractive, but I am saying that's conventionally not good looking. She was convinced this was her ideal man. But this guy was the antithesis of what her supposed type was. But because he succeeded in triggering attraction in her, it superseded her belief and value system about what she's supposed to be attracted to. The next myth of attraction that I want to talk about, or misconception that guys have about what attraction is having a connection with a woman. A lot of guys think that if you have a connection with a woman, it's going to lead to her feeling attraction for you. No, it's going to lead possibly to friendship or to you being her therapist. And if you're going to be her therapist, you might as well get paid well for it. Now, recently I've even heard guys use the terms connection and attraction synonymously, as if they mean the same thing. They don't. I had to learn the hard way. I remember years ago, I met this girl, Lindy. Had beautiful, long, wavy blonde hair, big, beautiful breasts, big, beautiful, full lips. Girl was gorgeous. And her and I had a really deep connection with each other. We'd reveal all our deepest, darkest secrets to each other. We'd divulge all our skeletons in our closet. And I thought because her and I had this deep connection that, she must feel attracted to me since I felt attracted to her. And boy, was I wrong. This one day I went in for the kiss and she pushed me away completely appalled and was like, ew, Swinggcat, you're like my little brother. Now, meanwhile, while this was all happening, I had this friend who must have been beaten with the ugly stick at birth. He was one ugly mofo. And he had no connection whatsoever with Lindy. But for whatever reason, he pumped her groin full of lust. She was completely enamored with the man. And not only was I jealous and baffled, I just wanted to know how the hell he triggered attraction in her. Years later, I figured it out, and we're going to talk more about that as this course progresses. But the important lesson to take from this is that having a connection with a woman by itself, having a connection by itself, doesn't necessarily lead to attraction. Now, I think knowing how to make women feel comfortable, knowing how to connect with women is an extremely important part to succeeding with and attracting women. That's why I spend a lot of time on it in my Swinggcat's Guide to Real World Seduction and in my Foundations for Generating Attraction course. And even in this course, I'm going to reveal to you some secrets I've never talked about before for sparking a connection with and making women feel comfortable. But what you got to keep in your back pocket is that having a connection with a woman by itself does not lead to her feeling attraction for you. Another attraction myth, or way that men misconceive what attraction is having value. Now, a lot of guys intuitively know that having value in a woman's eyes is pretty damn important. That's why even average Joes who haven't studied my stuff spend a lot of time learning how to increase their worth and value in a woman's eyes. And when you succeed at increasing your value in a woman's eyes, you have what I call prizability. She sees you as a prize, and hopefully as a prize that she wants to win over. If you have enough value in a woman's eyes that if you walked away or didn't validate her, then you have prizability. Now, if you do something to try and increase your value in a woman's eyes and you fail, it's going to scuttle, it's going to squelch, it's going to pound to pate any attraction she was previously feeling for you. Now, later on in the course, I'm actually going to teach you a special secret method of increasing your prizability in a woman's eyes. And even if you fail at this method, it will do nothing to hurt the attraction she's already feeling for you. So anyways, let's discuss some ways in which guys increase their or attempt to increase their prizability or value with women. Some guys who have a lot of money buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris. And this might work, but it's expensive. Some guys who maybe own my ebook or my Foundations for Generating Attraction course, they might use humor or frames, or they might share interesting stories about themselves or teach women something interesting about her. And these are all great ways to increase your prizability. The problem is that prizability and attraction are not the same thing. A lot of guys seem to think if you have prizability with a woman, you have attraction. Not necessarily true. Let's look at Bill Gates, for example. A large part of the female population probably thinks Bill Gates has prizability. But a lot of those women do not feel any attraction for the man. Another example is Donald Trump, who's a famous real estate tycoon. The guy has a very, very impressive resume. He has many, many successes under his belt. He has heaps of palatial estates. He has truckloads of fancy cars. He has kick-ass aircrafts. Many women see him as having prizability, but a lot of those women don't feel even a morsel of attraction for the guy. So I'm not saying that prizability isn't important, and prizability can help lay the groundwork for triggering attraction in women. If it wasn't important, I wouldn't spend so much time on it in my ebook, Swinggcat's Guide to Real World Seduction, or my audio course, Foundations for Generating Attraction. And even in this course, I'm going to introduce you to 5 different types of prizability. I'm going to show you many different ways to increase your prizability in a woman's eyes. But I want you to remember that prizability is not the same thing as attraction.